California Highway Patrol pursues stolen SUV driver in downtown Los Angeles. A suspect driving a stolen Honda CR-V led authorities on a chase through Los Angeles on the afternoon of Monday, April 14, 2025. The high-speed chase began in Compton when Los Angeles County Sheriff's deputies spotted the suspect vehicle. The chase traveled through surface streets before reaching Interstate 110 in South Los Angeles, where it was joined by California Highway Patrol officers. The white SUV was seen traveling on northbound Interstate 110, swerving between traffic and, at one point, traveling on the shoulder of the road. Just 2 minutes later, the driver continued driving through major streets in Chinatown, speeding through crosswalks and nearly hitting pedestrians.
A lot of innocent motorists here, but it was too dangerous. They called it off, and now we will see if any other agencies try and pull this suspect over. But again, this is a Grand Theft Auto suspect behind the wheel, now traveling at a high rate of speed up Main Street, which is no more than a 35-mile-per-hour speed limit through here. He's doing much faster than that as he tries to speed by all of this traffic. And you can see as we make our way through downtown now, approaching the 101 freeway, there is a lot of pedestrian traffic at that. Oh! Yeah. Yeah, no, he's really pushing it. He's really testing his luck as well, trying to squeeze through very narrow gaps here. Now a westbound turn onto Arcadia. You know, we at this point of this situation, we hope that he ends up on the freeway, because trying to get back on Main Street, he had much better luck on Main, and there he is making the turn, now going northbound on Main once again, putting it in reverse there at that red light with nowhere to go, continuing northbound on Main, where he's going to come up on the 101 freeway. There is a lot of people out on a Monday afternoon here, and not to mention all the traffic that he keeps encountering as well, looking for any space to get around this traffic. Now making the right onto Cesar Chavez. A wild turn there. Again, lots of close calls that we are seeing just in the last few seconds. Cutting through, use that parking lot to cut through there. There was a bicyclist crossing the street there, and now you can see he's now on New High Street, traveling northbound. Are we north? Yeah, we are north of the 101 freeway. So he's now made his way north of the 101 at about 45 miles per hour, straddling the double yellow lines there. And it's important to note here that he is not being pursued by anybody right now. This suspect is on the run, driving very recklessly without any law enforcement in sight here. There is no threat to this suspect. He is just driving very recklessly for no apparent reason other than the fact that he is obviously under the impression that there are eyes on him and probably likely aware of the helicopters. But you can see him using the wrong side of the road to get around this traffic here, coming up on Broadway and College Street, going the wrong way on College Street now, almost a head-on collision there as he continues these dangerous maneuvers, now pulling on to Hill Street, North Hill Street, going southbound on Hill, where there is a lot more pedestrian traffic up ahead of him. We have seen so many close calls, guys. It is really, really nerve-wracking. You're reverse again. Yeah, it makes you wonder why he decided to get off. He could have gone right through downtown. He was using the shoulder. Traffic on the 110 freeway was bumper to bumper, but that didn't stop him. He was using the right shoulder to get from the 105 to downtown LA in no more than 5 minutes, just speeding up the shoulder and eventually getting off the freeway and using the buildings and parking garages to try and conceal his movements. You almost get the impression that he's done that maybe on purpose, whether he's familiar with the area or not. He knows that it's his best option to try and dump the vehicle and then try and hide out. That's most likely what he's doing here, looking for an opportunity to hide, looking for a hiding spot to dump the vehicle and then try and get away. That it seems to be what he's doing, because all of these moves appear to be very random, very haphazard, and not well thought out. So now he's back on the wrong side of the road here on Sunset Boulevard, going the wrong way on Sunset Boulevard, making his way through Echo Park and picking up a lot of speed here as he makes his way into the Echo Park area. Again, going the wrong way, making a left turn here, a random left onto Bellevue Avenue, a smaller street off of Sunset Boulevard. Again, we're still in Echo Park here, traveling at a high rate of speed. As far as we know, guys, only the driver inside this vehicle, but too difficult to tell whether there may be anybody else inside this car. But right now, as we look through that windshield, this is the first time we've been able to really clearly see inside that vehicle as we get a better shot of that passenger seat. I don't see any movement coming from the passenger seat. Right now, it does look like mainly the driver, or at least only the driver that we could tell inside this vehicle. Wonder if he's looking for an opportunity to get on the freeway. Here comes the collision. Almost a close call there. He was going to get on the freeway, and then he almost collided with that person exiting the freeway there, and now he is committed once again to Bellevue Avenue, weaving around traffic on Bellevue, looking for an opportunity to get on the freeway. He's now at Glendale Boulevard. He's preparing to make a right turn or maybe cut through traffic and get on the freeway. He's cutting through. He's cutting through, going southbound on Glendale, and that will give him potentially an opportunity once he crosses underneath the overpass here to turn around and get back on the freeway. He's using those double yellow lines to try and squeeze through this traffic here, going southbound on the northbound side. Look at this. Head-to-head with an innocent motorist, now once again pulling the U-turn, doing a three-point turn in the middle of Glendale Boulevard, just south of the 101 freeway, and now making his way back underneath the 101 freeway, looking for any opportunity to get on the freeway. He is desperate to find some free open road, and every time he finds himself boxed in, he just puts it in reverse. He's making random U-turns, looking for any opportunity. He's pushing it. He's really pushing it. Oh, no! Oh, my goodness. Look at this. He rammed right into the front left corner of either vehicle there. Hopefully, he narrowly avoided much more serious injuries here, but now the suspect is disabled at Glendale Boulevard and Park Avenue. Somebody running from the vehicle, I believe that's the driver, now running for it up Glendale Boulevard. He collided head-on with an innocent motorist right there in the middle of Glendale Boulevard, and now he is going up the sidewalk looking for a spot to hide out or blend in. He's now going to walk his way right up Glendale Boulevard. There are eyes on him, obviously. The LA County Sheriff's Department calling out his location, LAPD, trying to make their way into the area. Here comes California Highway Patrol. CHP now pulling into position, and that's going to be the end of his joyride this afternoon as he is now proned out on the sidewalk at Glendale Boulevard just north of Park Avenue. A heart-pounding situation, an earlier pursuit ending in just a reckless joyride through the streets of downtown LA. CHP finally getting this Grand Theft Auto suspect off the road, guys.
By 6:05 p.m., the driver reached Echo Park and continued driving recklessly, crossing the shoulder of the road, apparently trying to find a way out. The chase ended after 2 minutes when the vehicle collided with another vehicle shortly after 6 p.m. at the intersection of Glendale Street and Park Avenue. The vehicle stopped on the side of the road, and the driver got out and attempted to flee. He was arrested a short time later.
California Highway Patrol lost track of carjacking suspect in downtown Los Angeles.
A little bit of an IFB issue, so I can't hear Araxia, but this pursuit is making its way through the Echo Park area. Now, this is a driver from an earlier pursuit that apparently got out of that stolen vehicle and into this pickup truck, but he seems that it didn't, I don't think they carjacked this vehicle. I think it was more of this guy or person was waiting and they swapped vehicles. It's a heavy truck. It's an older Chevy pickup truck, 2500 heavy duty, and he's in areas that are very, very crowded right now. And the decisions he's making is actually making the streets smaller and smaller. On the freeways for a little bit, was up off of Huntington Drive. If you know that area up there, that's a big 4-lane road. But right now, looks like we're getting into smaller and smaller neighborhoods out here. Now we're in the Westlake area. Speeds slowed down. He was basically just kind of staying at 60 miles an hour on the wrong side of the road for a lot of that time. I can't imagine what the drivers that have had to get near this person were thinking when they have this big giant truck barreling down on them coming at them head on. Right now, though, they backed off on all the vehicles that were chasing them. There is still a sheriff's ship overhead following him in the air, but all the units on the ground backed off, and I think that was a very wise move. Right now, though, that truck is just, probably knows that there's a helicopter above him, but as far as any vehicles behind him, lights and sirens, none of that's going on, and hopefully, and it does seem like it is working. Well, now I'm saying it, but now he's gotten back onto the wrong side of the road. They just want this guy to calm down a little bit. I think that's one of the big reasons why they do that, back off on the ground and go into a tracking mode. They just want that driver to relax and just kind of drive a little bit more safe. Right now, though, as far as anybody on the ground, there are none. But is it working? You can witness it with us right now. You can see it still keeping up those speeds up here, passing other vehicles. It's getting a little bit tighter. But as far as a destination, I really don't think this driver has a point that he's going to, because he's just been making random turns, keeps this vehicle moving, hasn't made any attempt to drop it off anywhere. And I also kind of wonder, just because of the shape of the vehicle and the disarray that it may be in, I have a feeling that that vehicle, very important to that driver. So I don't think that they're just going to abandon that vehicle and just run off like we've seen in the past. Right now, though, the pursuit's continuing. Is it a pursuit? It's more of a following, but that driver definitely running from the demons right now in his mind, because that reckless driving continues, high speeds, wrong side of the road, and of course, civilians all around him. This is getting very dangerous, and I have a funny feeling that this one might not end very well.
So, Stu, you cannot hear us, but I'm going to try to set some of the scene here. Oh, okay. Can you hear me now, Stu? Okay, I guess you cannot. So we are following this. It is a white pickup truck. It looks like a work truck, but it sounds like the driver, this individual, got into this truck at a later time, because originally he was in a black SUV and there was a dog inside of that SUV. A passenger and the dog bailed. The SUV was parked in an encampment, and then this driver got into a white pickup truck, which you're seeing right there down below. And it sounds like, from what I understand, that perhaps this truck was there to help this individual out. They came to meet him, so he had another getaway vehicle. So we're still kind of trying to figure all this out. What matters, though, is how dangerous this person is driving on those streets. You see, it is crowded, it is busy. Obviously, there are pedestrians who come and go, right? And this person is driving recklessly, Stu. We've been watching this, and it really is making us nervous. And I can see why you're saying, the police and the deputies chose to back off a little bit, and it's now in tracking mode. This is what we call it when they give this individual some space, because he seems to be aggravated, and say that they don't want to make the situation more intense than it has to be.
Definitely, and that's one of the reasons why they back off when they. I'm sorry, wrong button there. This is the reason why they back off on these when they do these chases, because they want to basically let that driver kind of settle down a little bit and hopefully not have that feeling that they're being chased. Right now, we're kind of trying to move Skyfox over a little bit. I have a feeling he's on 7th Street or Western. Yeah, I'm sorry, Wilshire. I just saw him making his way down that way between those two buildings. If he makes a turn onto one of the other streets, north or southbound, we're not going to be able to see him right now. We got to move Skyfox a little bit closer to downtown, making his way over to the buildings. I'm going to stay a little bit wider, and I'm trying to listen in on this on the scanner as well, but we've got everything stacked against us today up here in Skyfox, but we're doing what we can, and we're going to make every effort to stay with it.
Okay, so I was trying, when you couldn't hear me, I was trying to kind of set the scene as to what we know so far with information we've been given. If I understand correctly, this is the white pickup truck that this person got into. Originally, he started in a different vehicle, correct?
Hope is a north-south. Yes, this is eastbound Holt. Southbound Grand. Right now, I'm kind of trying to make my way to get a little bit closer to figure out exactly where this is.
Take your time.
Southbound on Grand, so that's Grand right there. So I'm keeping an eye on that. Eastbound 7th from Grand, so that means he's got to be right under us. He's right there. Because that's 7th Street and Grand. I do not see that pickup truck, but that is the northbound Olive. Let's see. That would be the Hope. Right there. Is that him? Are we sure that's him?
I think so. I think that is the vehicle.
That's not him.
No?
That's not him. Unless I'm looking at the wrong car.
It looks like the vehicle to me, but I could be wrong. I know that white pickup truck had a bunch of stuff in the trunk, so.
Yeah, this one.
Not that one.
This one does as well, but I'm telling you that wasn't the same pickup truck. This one is actually kind of pulling. That's not it either. So yeah, we're going to try to keep an eye on it, see if we can find it. I knew if they made their way over here to the downtown area, it would become a lot more difficult, especially to follow it. And I'm trying to listen in and see if maybe one of the sheriff's ship and or the California Highway Patrol airplane that's out here as well could maybe give out some calls and figure out where this thing's at.
Police pursued a pickup truck in Los Angeles on Wednesday, April 16, 2025, and officials said the driver was wanted in a previous pursuit. California Highway Patrol officers are searching for a carjacking suspect who led authorities on a police chase through Los Angeles County on Wednesday. Just after 1 p.m., several people were reported inside a stolen vehicle, allegedly traveling north on Interstate 710 in East Los Angeles. That vehicle stopped on the side of the road, where at least one person got out and surrendered to police. However, another suspect jumped into the driver's seat of another vehicle, a white Chevrolet pickup truck, traveling north on Interstate 710. The driver was seen erratically driving on surface roads in the Echo Park/Westlake area, driving on the wrong side of the road several times. By 1:50 p.m., the driver was seen speeding along West 8th and Alvarado Streets, heading toward downtown Los Angeles. Once the truck reached downtown Los Angeles, police lost track of the suspect due to the dense urban area. Police continued their search for him via helicopter.
A report came in of a person being shot in the abdomen at the Kona Motel on Brookhurst Street in Anaheim. On Wednesday evening, April 16, responding officers spotted a white pickup truck fleeing the scene, and a chase began. Meanwhile, the man shot at the hotel was taken to the hospital in stable condition, according to Anaheim police. The chase spanned several cities in Orange County, with police using various tactics, such as spike strips and pit maneuvers, to try to stop the suspect. The chase spanned several cities in Orange County, with police using various tactics, such as spike strips and pit maneuvers, to try to stop the suspect. The suspect eventually became stuck in heavy traffic at a red light. A patrol car struck his truck on the shoulder of the road, but he continued on his way. The California Highway Patrol and Anaheim Police worked together to end the dangerous pursuit. A patrol car successfully executed a pit maneuver on West Memory Lane near City Road in Santa Ana. The suspect veered off the road and struck the median. Law enforcement intervened, and police fired several shots. A passenger exited the truck and was quickly taken into custody. Shortly thereafter, officers intervened and removed the suspect from the driver's side. Anaheim police reported that officers performed CPR, but the suspect could not be saved and was pronounced dead at the scene. Investigators have not determined whether he pointed the weapon at himself, fired it first, or what specifically prompted the police to open fire.
Making the left turn. Eastbound Memory Lane. Here comes another pit maneuver attempt, and there he goes, spinning out of control into the wall. The vehicle making the left swerve and continuing on now into the other wall, right into the center divider there. And here come all of those black and whites ready to execute a felony stop as the vehicle is now smoking. Lots of smoke coming from underneath the hood. The vehicle appears to be disabled. They're shooting. At least one weapon fire there. Shots fired. Shots have been fired at the driver's seat of that pickup truck. Multiple shots fired. That front windshield appears to be shattered. It's hard to tell from this distance, but it looks like those bullets have gone right through the front windshield. Again, we want to be really careful here. We don't know exactly which agencies are in this shot right here, but this has been an Anaheim PD pursuit with the help of California Highway Patrol. Shots have been fired at the termination of this pursuit after a pit maneuver attempt. that vehicle sliding into the wall to the left there and then eventually crashing into the center divider. And you can see with our magnifier there are several rounds that have exited through that front windshield. Multiple shots fired at the driver of that white pickup truck, believed to be a shooting suspect out of Anaheim. Anaheim PD and the California Highway Patrol, again, treating this very carefully. They are waiting for canine units, some of which may already be in this pack here, unclear, but they are actively waiting canine units, and there is an arrest team now on multiple sides of this vehicle, again, ready to take that suspect into custody if he is still alive in there. Again, number of shots fired into the cab of that pickup truck. Looks like that passenger side door is open and somebody has just exited the vehicle on the passenger side. Now with their hands up, walking backwards in the direction of those officers to the left. It looks like one person is surrendering. We do not know if that is the driver, just too dark to tell. But one person has now come out the passenger side of the vehicle with his hands up and is about to be taken into custody. That suspect now in handcuffs sitting on the curbside there. Officers with their guns still trained on that vehicle. Unclear whether there are any more suspects inside of that vehicle. Anaheim Police. You can clearly see Anaheim Police markings on the side of that SUV. Again, this was an Anaheim PD pursuit with the help of California Highway Patrol at certain points here. And it does appear that Anaheim PD may in fact be the agency that opened fire on this suspect at the end of this pursuit after a successful pit maneuver, slamming that pickup truck into one wall, and then he kind of swerved his way back over to the center divider there, crashing into the median. And you can see this vehicle has suffered a lot of damage after ramming into a number of vehicles and also being struck by several police cars. That pickup truck coming really close to driving right over the side of that overpass. That overpass, incidentally, is going to be Memory Lane